Hi, my name's Angela Casey and welcome to Edinburgh Outdoors, the podcast that explores Edinburgh's green spaces and the people in them. And today I've come down to find out about the Water of Leith Basins, and I'm meeting Hilary Thacker of the Friends of Water of Leith Basin, and we're going to go for a walk around the area and find out all about it. Welcome to Edinburgh Outdoors, Hilary.
Oh, thank you. Nice to meet you too.
Very nice to meet you. And we're going through a bit that says private at the moment, so we're going to go and have a look around, and we're going to do a loop, is that right?
Yeah, we'll do a loop around all the basins.
Yeah.
And we start here where I live, Basin 3. So this is our private boardwalk. And from here you can get a view of the swan's nest if you crane your neck over there.
Oh, yes.
So she's just started incubating 10 eggs. First time she's nested there.
So we're looking out over this basin, which is a stretch of water. There's a swan on its nest. And there are some mallards just running underneath us, and some other ducks there, which I don't know what they are.
Goosanders, female goosanders.
Oh, wow. She's nesting in a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
The basins were docks, is that right?
Well, originally it was a tidal river, up to the weir in Basin 4. And then in '69, the port installed sea gates. And at that point, it stopped being a river, and this part became known as basins because it's semi-stagnant.
Right.
So the port controls how much water there is here. It's really one basin, but we call it 4 and mark it out by the bridges.
OK, well, we'll work it out as we go. So how long have you been involved with the Friends of Water of Leith Basins?
About 13 years.
Oh, wow, a long time.
Long time, since I've moved here to Leith, near the shore.
Yeah. And why did you get involved?
I met someone doing a talk at Custom House, and this group covers the pollution, the sewage, the traffic management, the architecture, planning permissions, wildlife, everything. And I was instantly fascinated by all the different subjects covered, and I volunteered, and I've gradually got drawn in, and I'm on the committee now, and I moderate the Facebook for the group.
Yeah.
And help research things.
And how many people have you got as volunteers generally?
Generally, we have a good attendance, maybe 40 turn up at every AGM. And we've got a team of about 6 who come to the committee meetings. And then we've got almost 10,000 followers on the Facebook.
There's some lovely old buildings up here.
Yeah, really quirky, interesting. Yeah.
So we are now walking down. We've just crossed Great Junction Street. And we're coming down to the side of the river through some trees. Beautiful. So what kind of things do the volunteers do?
The main group of FOWLB get involved with planning permission, dredging, getting the buddleia removed from the walls, traffic management, acquisition of buildings for the community, like Custom House, Custom Lane, Leith Theatre, Lamb's House.
So it's more than just looking after the water, it's everything around the edge of it.
Yeah, in theory, up to 2 streets away. So it's basins and environs, up to 2 streets away.
Right.
So that covers everything, really, in the area. Graffiti removal. All these walls were covered in buddleia. And last year, finally, we got it all removed. You can see it all springing back again. But it was like a jungle around here. So we're worried about the river walls getting pulled down by the buddleia, and then you get landslides. Yeah. So we've been fighting for that for years.
We're sharing this fence with a seagull. Oh, and here are some more ducks. So if somebody wants to get involved, they can come along, and almost not everybody has to do everything, is that right?
There's an engineer in the group and an architect and a physio, different skills to offer. But anyone can come along to a committee meeting and join in and listen, and they can volunteer if they like. And if they want to do litter picking, kind of physical stuff, that's usually done through the Water of Leith Conservation Trust, and they're responsible for the whole of the river, and they organise litter picking, clearing the paths, all that kind of thing, for the more physical volunteering.
So they're still involved this far down, they don't stop when they get to the basins, they are involved in the Water of Leith till it gets to the estuary?
Well, till FOWLB formed, they stopped their work at the Great Junction Street Bridge because in theory this is privately owned. Then FOWLB came into being and we invited them to come down here and help pick the litter up. And since then they've gradually done more and more and more, and now they come down here quite independently and do their thing.
That's great. The people work together. So who actually owns this?
Well, it was originally bought by a group property developers called Water of Leith 2000, and now they own just Basin 1 by the Ocean Mist, and they sold off the other 3 basins to their family. So it's kind of divided up amongst one family.
What's the benefit in owning a basin, though? I don't understand that.
When they bought it off the port in the 80s, they hoped to make a floating village. So they were going to put jetties and barges and a grandstand for live music. So they had big plans to monetise the area. They've put that on the back boiler for now.
Yeah. So you'd like to see it kept as it is? Because I can see, I mean, even this little section we're looking at, I can see it's got wildlife in it. And it's lovely to be by the water, isn't it?
It is, and the water's empty and clear, and that's very calming when you've got a busy life in the city.
This is a beautiful tree, isn't it?
Yeah, this is gorgeous. And one year the swans nested here, just beneath it.
Yeah.
Which was quite beautiful.
So you've obviously got the ducks here. What other wildlife have you seen? Well,
herons, seals coming in.
Oh, the seals come in, do they?
Yeah, they do. Very occasionally we get a seal comes right up. One came up to the St Mark's Park, to the weir there. We get otters. And then in the water there's big fish, big trout and eels, big eels, cormorants, lots of cormorants, jellyfish in summer.
But I thought there was a barrier across where you go into the estuary. How do those creatures come in then?
The sea gates there, the barriers, so they open a few times a day to let vessels in and out. And when they open, there's a collection of various fish and seals even at the gates, waiting to come and go, yeah. So one of my neighbours is a diver and he helped fix the gates on one occasion. Yeah. And he said you can see the seals there waiting to come and go when they open the gates.
So why would they want to come in? Warmer water?
There's a lot of fish that are kind of stuck this side of the gate, so they're kind of stuck in the port. And apparently fishermen and the divers say there's a lot of fish in there, big fish.
So they've come down the river?
They've come down the river and they've come up the river as well when the gates open.
So there's a whole lot of traffic going in and out of the gates. And what about the rubbish washes down the river and that all collects at the gates, does it?
It collects in the booms at the end of the basins. The Water of Leith Conservation Trust come and pick out the man-made stuff from them. And then the wood is removed when it really builds up by the port, and the council come along with a grab and pull it out.
OK, that makes sense. So we're just crossing a bridge.
This is the West Bowling Green Street Bridge, and this is the end of Basin 4.
And Basin 4, is that the one that's furthest inland?
Yeah, and this is where the water used to be tidal. So before the gates were put in, the sea would come right up to here. And this was all sand. So all these houses either side of the basins was sand. You can see it in the old drawings of the area. And the tall sail ships used to come all the way up here. We actually walked by a slipway, I'll point it out to you, which was the last remaining shipyard up here. So these finished, the last one finished in the 80s. Mm-hmm. So I walked down there to feed the swans.
And that's just for pleasure, that's not part of your job, you're just enjoying.
I'm also a volunteer for the Lothian and Fife Swan and Goose Study Group. So for a few years I helped them ring the swans.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, all over the Lothians. So Saturday we do the West Lothian, Sunday the East Lothian. So that's how I got involved with the swans, and I spent a lot of time helping various nests around the area.
Swans are scary things.
They are, yeah, they can be quite aggressive.
When I was about 6, I got bitten by a swan. And I've always been quite wary of them.
Oh, you should be.
That.
Yeah. But I know how to catch them and put them in a bag, and I've got various bits of equipment.
So that's very brave. And are the number of swans going up?
No, it's drastically reduced.
Do they know why that is?
Partly avian flu and pink feather, more dog attacks, the usual fox attacks. Possibly this anti-bred feeding movement.
Oh, yes.
So they're not getting the food they used to, but mainly avian flu, pink feather, which is caused by the blue-green algae.
These birds are lovely along here.
Yeah, this is the wildlife area.
It's really nice.
Yeah. So we get long-tailed tits.
Yeah, I can hear them.
Dunnocks, redwing,
Robin.
sparrowhawk comes down.
I love it when you're in an area that's post-industrial, but it's become a wildlife area.
Yeah.
There's something particularly beautiful about it that nature's taken over. And I really like it.
So this was a jungle before, till last summer. So a big job cutting it all back.
So we're going under a bridge now.
Regent Street Bridge.
And do you enjoy the... Oh, I like this echo. Do you enjoy the work that you do with the volunteer group?
I do. I love it. It's a way to meet people. And we've had a huge amount of impact on the area. Before I joined, they'd already made the shore one way, had the bollards put in, changed the lighting, trees planted, benches put in, stopped the lorries coming over the Sandport Bridge. Already done a huge amount. And then I joined, and since then, Custom House, Custom Lane, Leith Theatre have all been acquired with the help of an architect in our group.
Yeah.
And there was an apartment near me, Sheriff Bray, and they had their sewage system plumb directly into the river. Then with a big battle with Scottish Water and a petition and the help of the Facebook page, we got that all sorted. So since that's been done, we've got rid of that awful stench. There's still a smell sometimes in certain places because the sewers, well, the CSOs aren't well maintained.
I know also that when we get a flash lot of rain, that they have to release some of the sewage into the river, don't they?
They do. That's how it's all designed, otherwise it would back up into the houses. So it's designed to flow into the river, but the problem is that they're not maintained. So because this is semi-stagnant here, in a normal river the sewage would just flow out to sea. But here it's building up, the silt's building up, and it's piling up with the sewage. So that's a big question that we're looking into, is the dredging.
If you're going to put a thing at the end of the basin, I guess it is going to not just flow out, is it?
No.
And the city is growing.
The city's growing,
so fast.
And you've got the swan there. Did you see it?
Yeah, I did. So that's where we were before, isn't it?
Yeah.
Look at that. I think that's extraordinary that he's on a Christmas tree.
Yeah. So my neighbour built that.
Oh, your neighbour built the area for the swan?
Yeah, the two mounds. Gradually he's built them up over the years.
Oh, I see.
And now that's attracted a swan.
Is that just because he's been clipping stuff and chucking it over, or is that deliberate for the swans?
It's collecting Christmas trees, and the trees that are chopped down, they put the branches in.
To make little fake islands?
Yeah, but they've been very successful.
Yeah. These... Oh...
Eider ducks.
Yes.
They've just arrived.
So you work with Water of Leith Conservation Trust and the council. And are there any other people that you partner with as volunteers, as the group?
We're part of the stakeholders group, which is a new meeting set up by Ben McPherson, our MSP. He was the first politician to really take an interest. And now we've got a stakeholders group, and that's attended by the owners of the basin, the port, the council, the head of the business group, councillors, politicians. So it's the first time that there's been a regular meeting of this type in the area.
I don't think I'd realised you would have so many of the water birds. It's lovely.
Yeah, there's usually a lot more. There's been quite a drop this year. Last year we had a pair of Canada geese nested here under the bridge, and they had their goslings, which by the next day they disappeared. Maybe a heron got them and the swan was chasing them. And this garden is created by one of the founders of FOWLB, John Russell, and originally it was just a tip here, and then with the help of the council he's gradually cleaned the soil and the ground, and the council put in the railings to keep dogs and people out. And he's made this wonderful little garden. All year round there's lots of different flowers.
It's really nice.
Yeah, and it's organic. He brings seaweed in.
So you're mentioning FOWLB. That, of course, is the abbreviation of Friends of Water of Leith Basin, which is much easier to say. Isn't it?
Yeah.
So we're talking FOWLB. When we talk about FOWLB, that's what it is. We're now crossing
Sandport Bridge,
Yes.
recently pedestrianised and cycled weight.
Oh, so it wasn't before. I think I've driven over it. And we're now, is this the shore?
This is now the official shore.
And we're on the opposite side. This is an area that I feel really has transformed.
That's Lamb's house there. You can see up that tiny alley with the
yes.
wooden balcony. Beautiful old building. That's where we have our meetings.
And what's that building there?
That one is a very old traditional pub, which is under threat. I've put that on the Facebook. So there's planning permission going ahead at the moment to have apartments put in above it, whereas now there's just offices. So the new residents will probably complain about having a pub. So the pub is probably going to have to go if we don't manage to stop the planning, which is a huge loss to the area. There's live music there. The owner, Callum, he helps with the area and he helps organise a jazz and blues festival here. So that would be a big loss to the area. That in the corner there is the usual swan's nest. For decades they nested there.
Is that accumulated rubbish down there?
That's natural rubbish. The silt is building up on that corner, and as a result, the wood's sticking there. The Conservation Trust clean it by boat, but they just take out the man-made stuff.
And so, on your day-to-day as FOWLB, you're looking round now, like you spotted the graffiti. You're looking for other things, are you, as you go?
Yeah, the main thing I check is the swans, just to make sure they're in good health and to check them for fishing tackle, litter, any problems they might have, any injuries. And people let me know if other swans come to the area. They'll attack newcomers. And then I generally walk around, meet people and hear about what's going on. And this is Custom House. So this before was the customs, and then it became a storeroom for the museum, and then it went into disuse, and there was a lot of years spent trying to get the money and permission to turn it into an art centre. So FOWLB was instrumental in getting that done. And then behind there, that's called Custom Lane, and there's architects there, jewellery workshops, there's a big cafe, an exhibition space, and again, that's a FOWLB project. And now they've just acquired opposite, that used to be the engineers, George Brown's engineers, and that whole building now has just been taken over by the same group from Custom Lanes, another big artistic community centre.
It's a bit busier here, isn't it?
Yeah.
I guess we're at the bit with all the restaurants and the...
So this is Basin 1.
And originally these would have been docks and people bringing ships in and...
Tall ships with big white sails, wooden boats. And then the metal ones would be coming in. And in those days, these bridges, Sandport Bridge, Great Junction Street Bridge, would have been drawbridges or swing bridges. They've changed over the years. So they used to open up to let the vessels come up and down, and it would be dredged regularly in those days, even though it was tidal.
Oh, this is maritime house here.
So we do lots of smaller scale things, just keeping the area in good nick.
Yeah. When I first thought about what you were doing, I assumed you were just dealing with the pollution in the basin. But in fact, you're much more actually about the community.
Yeah, we cover everything really. It's constant. But that's what makes it interesting.
Yeah, it does. Where does your funding come from?
We have some regular volunteers who donate. A couple of people have helped me with the swans because it is expensive. I've spent hundreds on equipment for them. But generally we do it out of our own pocket.
Right. But then when you come to do a project like the Custom House, just part of a move to make that happen.
That was the main thing that FOWLB did was the architects, the Groves Rain architects, they advised on how to get the funding. They're good at getting funding for this kind of project, so they help with the Leith Theatre as well and Lamb's House.
So you're working with different groups to secure the funding for the projects that you're working on.
Exactly.
It's a lot of work.
A huge amount of work, yeah.
How do you find the time?
I don't have a telly. I don't have children. I don't have a dog.
Are there projects that you'd like to do that you don't yet have funding for?
We'd like to get the dredging done. That is going to cost over $1 million. So it's a matter of ideally pressurising the port into paying for that because they've put the sea gates in, which is causing the build-up. That's a male swan sitting over there.
Oh.
So at this point, he can guard the entrance here to the river. So particularly in the past, before a few years ago, there would be constant swans coming here and then they'd swim up. So the local male tends to sit here or down there and he has to fight them off when they come in.
So he's like a sentry?
He's like a sentry, and sometimes he just scares them off, other times he'll attack them. SSPCA came recently, had to take one away that he was attacking. He nearly killed it.
Oh. Well, they are vicious, as we've said.
Yeah. We need we need a new chair, a new secretary.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, all new committee members. We need replacements. And then I need help with the swans for the dirty work. So this is the Victoria Swing Bridge,
which hasn't opened since the 80s. Do you think it would still open?
They'd have to remake all the turning mechanism. So I doubt they'll do that.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. So when it was first built, it took trains, cars, people. So it was the first bridge of its type.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, because it took all three and it swung at the same time. This is us leaving Basin 1, so that ends officially here at the Victoria Bridge. This is now the port, but it's got similar kind of basins in it. And the first two, the public are allowed to look at.
Are you involved in those as well?
Yeah, I check the birds here, relocate birds, help rescue swans. So a lot of the birds start here. When they come back from migration, they start here, then they move upstream. So this is quite a focal point for them.
After the swing bridge, we've come down past Fingal Hotel and we're coming into a much more industrial feeling area.
Yeah, so this is the port. And on the right, the Albert Dock.
So that's the way to the estuary, is it? That way?
That way. And that blue building is a film studio now. And I'll show you a pontoon in a minute over there where they congregate. I come round here maybe twice a day.
Do you?
And you always see more.
And how did you get into belly dancing?
I used to live in London.
Yeah.
Where it was quite popular, and I got dragged along to a class that I didn't want to go to. I thought, no. But the moment I saw the teacher, that was it. I was hooked. And then gradually friends asked me to show them, and then it just snowballed. And BBC TV came along one day and filmed the class, and that really got it going.
Yes. I should think it's quite good for your core and your muscles, isn't it?
It's wonderful exercise, yeah. So it was very popular till 9/11, really, in Edinburgh, all over Britain, all over the West. Women were doing it in vast numbers, and now it's not so popular.
This is an old pontoon.
Yeah. So this is what I wanted to show you. This is the swans have nested here, and the eiders nest here, the moorhens, and the swans would usually nest at the Victoria Bridge or the Sandport Bridge or further up. Mm-hmm. And then as soon as the cygnets are a couple of weeks old, they would bring them down here so they can spread out and grow. So you could have maybe 7, 9 big cygnets and the adults and all the other birds here.
It is a wonderful example, isn't it, of that post-industrial wildlife taking over.
So I keep that clean with my pickers and I go down there sometimes.
How do you get down there then?
I just clamber down.
You clamber down there?
Yeah, use that rope or that hook, that ring.
Right.
Clamber down and up. Or I can do it from here. Otherwise, some of the rubbish is hazardous to them and they get bits of plastic rings stuck around them. And once that happens, you've got to catch the bird. And that's a whole other thing. So it's much better just to get the hazardous stuff out.
So you spot it from there and then you climb down here.
Yeah.
And you're not worried you're going to fall into that murky-looking water?
Well, I do it with someone around.
Yes. Good. I'm glad you have someone around. I'm not going down there. This is you because of your swan.
That's because of the interest in the swans, because I've helped catch them when they do have fishing line and hazardous stuff on them. So there's a Canada goose flying over.
Oh, yes.
We've got a pair here, like I said, they bred last year and they keep trying to come back and the swan pushes them out, so it might come and land on that pontoon.
It's a nice spot for somebody who wants to do some bird watching.
It is.
And they can get here on the tram.
Yeah, on the tram, well, there's lots of buses.
It is a windy spot, but it's a nice spot.
I've just started a Hilary's wildlife page, so that's going to be about wildlife wherever I go, which at the moment is Morocco.
Yeah.
And so there's a stork's nest there that I watch, got a good view of.
Yes.
And there's a wildlife refuge centre there. I've been and filmed there.
So do you go to Morocco quite a lot?
I do. I'm there several months a year usually.
Right.
Yeah, I've got a Moroccan husband.
Yes.
And also this Moroccan business, which I've been doing for almost 30 years.
So who looks after the swans when you're away?
Well, when I'm away, there's a few people who keep me posted and daily updates what they're doing if a new one arrives. It's great. There's because of the Facebook, people get involved on that level and send their photos and news in, which is great. That's what makes it worthwhile.
That is good. So obviously people can come down having listened to this and have a look round at the basins, go and have a nice cup of coffee in a cafe or something. So that's what might be the outcome from listening for some people. But then if there are other people who are interested in getting involved in FOWLB and the swans, how could they get more involved if they wanted to?
If they wanted to get involved in the committee, they could contact us. They can email us or through the Facebook. If people want to get involved and do physical helping with the walkways around here and the litter, they need to contact the Water of Leith Conservation Trust.
If people want to find out more about swans, where can they find that out?
They can mainly follow the FOWLB Facebook page.
Yeah.
So that has regular swan updates, and they can backtrack and see all the swan activity. Also on the Hilary's wildlife page on Facebook, I'm going to be putting the photos and videos from a few years helping ring the swans. Here's a male swan, so he's moved up here now.
This is the sentry.
So he's spotted me. He's
Oh,
going
yes.
to come over and want some feed.
Do you think does he know you?
Oh, yeah. So he knows my whistle and he knows my hair. So I'm going to give him some dried green split peas in the shallow water. You hungry?
What would they eat normally?
They can forage on algae, green plants. They can forage around in the silt and pull up roots and bugs, insects. But probably they couldn't survive here without the public feeding them a bit. They get very hungry, so it implies they're not getting enough naturally.
Yeah. Oh, so you're just giving him split peas?
Yeah. So this means it's not coming from a freezer, it's not coming from abroad.
Yeah.
It's cutting down on packaging. That's good, you got to see him close up.
Yeah. I didn't realise they were territorial like that.
Oh, very, very.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when they're young, they fly to join the big flock sites. So there's Musselburgh, Duddingston, Cramond. And then as they get older, 3-4 years, they maybe pair up. And then they'll go off and try and find their own territorial site, their own nesting site. So they might try and push out an older pair like these pair, take over, or they'll find somewhere new. And if they're successful, they'll start breeding. And their young will go to the main flock sites till they leave. So you get big groups usually in the flock sites.
How do they know where the flock site is?
Sometimes the adults, their parents take them, escort them around on a kind of tour. Around here they could just start flying, they're going to see them.
Right.
But I don't know, no one quite knows how they know how to get around like that.
And they go to the flock site for safety?
Safety in numbers, yeah. Also they can molt there, so every year the swans need to jettison all their feathers and grow new ones. They can do that safely in a flock site. Other ones they'll be maybe in a smaller location, and then when they need to molt they'll go to the flock site just to molt, just in summer, then they'll go back to their territory.
Right. And that's, you said Duddingston?
Duddingston used to be a main site,
Yeah.
but it's down to 2. All these numbers have dropped. So last time there was just 2 at Duddingston, but there used to be 20, 30 there. Musselburgh used to be 150, 200 in the summer because they like the seaweed there. So in past years there have been 200 at Musselburgh. Last year it was down to about 80, so about half the normal number. Cramond used to have about 30. There were none at times last year. So they were the main sites. So now we're down to just not many swans at all, which is partly why I feed them now. I didn't feed them before
No.
because I like wild to be wild. But now I'm just trying to hang on to what we've got. And also people aren't giving them bread, so they're really short of food at times.
But I thought we weren't meant to give them bread because it wasn't good for them.
That's fine, but if people suddenly stop feeding them, what are they supposed to do? So when this ban came in, I pulled one of the cygnets out. It was a couple of months old, it had died, and it was very thin.
Oh.
Yeah, and there was a couple of big signs up around here saying don't feed them near the nest, which some people took to mean don't feed them at all, so they stopped feeding them.
Yeah.
And then the anti-bread stuff, a lot of people stopped feeding them.
Is there something we could feed them instead of bread if we wanted to feed them?
Well, you can give them
peas,
dried peas. A lot of food that people give them means freezing food, flying food in, planes, packaging, factories, all that. So if possible, if the ground's shallow and the water's shallow, you can give them dried peas, dried whole wheat, dried whole oats.
And what about the mallard that came and they didn't like the peas? What could you feed them?
Well, you could give them duck pellets or chopped veg. The other thing that people can do if they want to help volunteer and they don't just want to pick up litter is to help with the local parks. So there's maybe 5 local parks around the basins.
Yes.
And they're all being rewilded at the moment. So lots of planting activities going on.
Yeah, so they could come and help with some planting.
Yeah, and they do that through Thriving Green Spaces or the council website.
That's worth knowing as well, because people might want to know. So at the end, I always ask some questions. What does the outdoors mean for you?
It's fresh air, exercise, calming. It's also a big social thing around here, around the shore. You meet people, so we tend to sit around and talk and chat with people.
That's nice. And has there been a time when the outdoors has helped you?
Always, all my life. I've always loved animals and the outdoors, nature. But since being here, living on the shore, I've seen more wildlife here than I've seen. For example, I lived for years in the Lake District. I've seen far more in Edinburgh and the shore than I've ever seen there.
And I'll just give you a hint that most people say the place that we're in, because often I'm talking to them because they love the place that they're in. But where in or around Edinburgh is your favourite outdoor space?
The basins, the Water of Leith Basins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You are allowed to say the place that you're in.
Yeah.
A lot of people do. And I can see it actually just walking around, particularly going up around that lovely wildlife bit. And then also the really industrial bit. Yeah. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
I've really enjoyed our walk. That was great. And I'm in awe of your swan work. It is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Bye.
And as always, thank you for listening to Edinburgh Outdoors. If you enjoyed the podcast, please rate and even write a review. And don't forget to tell others about it too. And if you know of a green space in or around Edinburgh that might like to be featured, please get in touch.